All right, my next guest at this time is a singer-songwriter out of Lexington, Kentucky. Very talented musician, and I'm glad to have him on the show. Chris Weiss is joining me right now. What's going on, man?
Hey, gang, how's it going? How's it going? I'm doing pretty good. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Thank you so much for joining me for the interview, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So the first time I've met you, it was at I'm not even going to bother pronouncing the name of this place because I can't pronounce it very well. It starts with the letter B. That's all I know. Your band was there, and I first heard of you through a band member of yours. Shouts out to Aaron Gosper. Um, and you guys performed, and it was a very nice show. I enjoyed it, and obviously the last time I seen you perform was at the Prince tribute last year, and you were one of the highlights of that show, in my opinion. You did an excellent job, man.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that was a blast. That Prince show was ridiculous, man. We had so many people on that stage. It was so much fun. It was so much fun.
Yeah, and you know what was interesting about that show is that all the performers came out. You know, they came. You know, they nobody got paid or anything. They just did it. You know, in honor of a legend in Prince. So
hmm
that was very cool.
Yeah, that was really cool night. And man, it was so many people there, man. It was so much fun. Full crowd, and everybody was singing along to everything. It was so cool. I thought it was a really cool way to do a tribute like that. It was so cool.
Awesome, and you know, for those who missed that, I don't know what to tell you. You know, I just that's just one of those shows that you miss out, and not only that, it was free to get in. You didn't have to pay. It was
I know,
free,
right?
and you get your Prince classics performed by some musicians. So I'm just gonna
Yeah.
put that out there.
There were a lot of great players on that stage and singers and everything. It was great. It was a cool night.
Off the top of my head, I can think all the little pieces was there. Driftwood Gypsy, DeBron
Yep.
Thomas, David McLean. The list goes on and on. It was just an overall fun night. Now, with you, Chris, what got you into being a musician?
Man, I know that there was. I mean, I don't know if there's any other road. I've been a musician since, gosh, like little, like 6. And I think my mom really is who got me into music. My mom was a musician, pianist, more classical world, but she got me going in music when I was years old. I mean, well, before 6, but I was in the Cincinnati choir stuff when I was little. She just kind of threw me in there in the deep end, and it spoke to me so early. I got her guitar when I was 10 years old, and just screwing around. I just started picking the bass lines of the songs on the radio, stuff that I liked, you know, and I went from there myself, and it wasn't really until after college. I mean, I took lessons in college, classical lessons on guitar, and studied the composition and stuff. It really is when I started songwriting or composing for guitar much until after college. I was in my early 20s writing stuff, and just the fingerstyle guitar thing with Andy McKee and all that started taking off back then, and I really got drawn to that. And I think my style now is you know, it kind of harkens to some of that, but it's different. I'm doing a lot more singer-songwriter stuff now, but you know, I don't know. I just immersed in music my whole life. You know, since I was born, really just completely immersed in it.
That's awesome, man. And, you know, I just want to say this before I get to the next question. Support your local artists, support your local music and your venues. And there's a lot of talented people in Lexington in a variety of genres. You never know until you get out the house and go hang out, you know, and vibe.
It's so
Enjoy
true.
yourself.
It's so true. It's so easy to stay in the house because you got Netflix, you got YouTube, you got all that stuff, and that's cool. That stuff's cool. It has its place, and the community that you get with shows and see the musicians and see just the people too, not just the musician stage, but interacting with everybody that's supporting them. I think it's a unique thing. Can't get that sitting on the couch.
Very true. So, I seen you perform as a solo artist, and I seen you perform as part of a band. How would you best describe I guess you as a solo artist, you focus more acoustic sounds, and then you have a different type of music as part of the band. But how would you best describe your music as an artist and as part of the band that you own?
Yeah, that's like the number one question, isn't it? How do you describe your music?
Yeah.
And it's one, you'd think that by now I'd have a good answer to that question. I really honestly don't. My music comes from, I really focus on kind of the fundamentals of music and what speaks to me. So, music, it's emotional. Music tells a story, whether there's words or not. And I feel like my music kind of does that. That's my goal anyway. Whether it does or not, I don't know. But that's my goal. It's trying to kind of tell a story of some sort. It might tell a feeling or an emotion. It might tell an story. But I've got a song, one of my tunes. It's hopefully going to be the next album, which I'm hoping to get. Called "Coffee and Hammocks," and that song, man, it's instrumental. And I was telling when I play, this song is what happens when you drink coffee sitting in a hammock. And it's not. It starts out wonderfully and nice and peaceful, and then by the middle of it, I'm spilling coffee all over myself. It just came from an experience where I literally drank coffee in a hammock and spilled it all over myself. And as silly as that sounds, this song kind of came from that. Later that day, I started working on this song, and it just kind of came. And it just more just describing the feeling of that moment and that experience. And it sounds kind of silly, but the song itself really just kind of speaks at a different level, as music always seems to. So much more it goes into it, but it's just emotional. Aaron, actually, we talked about Aaron, my buddy Aaron. He's he's one of the best players, bass out here in Lexington, and wonderful musician. And he always says, people ask what are like acoustic feelsy, and I think that really just describes it best. We're kind of three jam musicians, and when I play solo and when I play with those guys, that really comes through. That feelsy kind of. It's acoustic most of the time with the band too. It's acoustic music. We do get into some electric guitar, and we do get rowdy from time to time. There's a lot of blues in there, a lot of melodies, a lot of harmonies. I don't like this. I love three chords in the truth. I love that music. My music, a lot of times, more like 7 or 8 chords in the truth. Sometimes it can change. But there's a lot of that going on in my music. I don't know if that answers the question or not, but that's kind of the best way I can think to answer it.
Oh, you definitely answered it, man. And I feel you. It's I guess sometimes people put in the box. Just let the music speak for itself, and I guess you be the judge or whatever.
I used to say that too sometimes when I was starting out, and it felt kind of, to me, like a cop out that I just didn't have an answer, and I still don't. But it's true, because I think music on some level, it speaks to different people differently. People have said, one person, Johnson at UK, choral director, he's the choral director of choral studies over there. He said to me one time, he said, I can hear Alex DeGrassi in there a lot. And I thought that was a really big compliment, because he's someone that I looked up to. He's just a fingerstyle guy, and so that was a cool thing to hear. But also things like Paul Simon, I've heard J.J. Cale People have told me that with the trio. We sound a lot like J.J. Cale sometimes. You got that bluesy thing going on, that acoustic-y thing going on. But yeah, we go all over the board. We have a couple tunes. Now, I don't know if we were going to get into music, but I've got one song, Parachutes, that we do with the trio. We do it a couple different ways. We have two totally different versions of it. And one of them, which is on my YouTube channel, really has a John Mayer kind of feel to it. And we got that recording was done at Tasha's, and it's got really a John Mayer kind of feel to it. And I've listened to a lot of John Mayer, and I love his sound. I love his tone. Of course, I'm playing on a Gibson. I'm playing on a 335. All about it. But it's just got kind of that sound, that kind of bluesy sound to it with the trio, and we do that sound as well. But we kind of go to the acoustic realm too. So I don't know, it's all over the board, and maybe I just can't narrow it down. Maybe that's it. I'm a little too schizophrenic.
It's all good, man. It's all good. So you, Sean, Aaron, how did this band got put together?
That's a question. So, Sean moved up here. Sean is Sean McCormick, and phenomenal drummer, amazing musician. He's actually got a degree. But he's a drummer. But he mostly plays with us. But he moved up to Atlanta and he played for years. Back in the 80s and the 90s, Sean was gigging all over the place down at a blues band and this thing. And then he moved up here back in early 2000. We just together, playing on the side, doing all kinds of stuff. And I play acoustic guitar. And Aaron Gosper, who he has been for a while. One of my favorites, believe it or not. And so Aaron, I said, I just called. I said, Aaron, you get over here. We're going to jam. We're going to play a little bit tonight. Let's jam and let's just see what happens. And so he came over and had 3 different generations. We are each part. And so for 3 different generations, we all got the same mindset on this music, and same music, and like to explore. And we just hit it off, and so that we started playing. We found kind of a regular gig over at Azure, so we there once a month. Played when they were still around, and that was a cool place. But we just kind of started going, and we just started, and it just people dug it. We got a kick out of doing it, so we just kept on going. That was about 3 years ago. We started, I think, 3 or 4 years ago.
Man.
So yeah.
That's cool. I didn't know that he's a student of yours. Like, man.
I know. Isn't that nuts? It was crazy. Yeah. I mean, he was, now when I say student of mine, like Aaron is great. He was self-taught a lot until before he came to me, and so we just started honing a lot of stuff that he had already been at. He was already a great player when he got up. I started pushing him, and that's all he needed. Like I said, he's seriously the best bass players we have in town here. I'll say that too loud. I don't want people start picking him up from me. He's a busy man already.
Look, from my experience talking to Aaron and just seeing him in other acts, that dude clearly has his hands full. Like,
oh yeah. He just loves to make music. Yeah. He really does, and that's essential, man. That's so key.
It's very, very true. So you mentioned Natasha's, you mentioned Azure.
Mm-hmm.
What are some other of your favorite local venues you like to perform at?
And I've got a big old list. And you know what? My list includes some places, and one on my goal, I made a New Year's resolution to try to hit some of these new places. There's so many cool venues in Lexington now. Lexington, I don't know, I imagine you've felt this too. It's just like, I feel like it's popping right now. It's exploding. The music scene is just exploding in Lexington right now. With so many people pouring. We've got like the Burl. The Burl is probably, right now, in this moment you asked me, put it in my head, the Burl is my favorite place right now. It's such a cool place. Shotgun little bar, and at the end you got that stage, and so cool. I love that place. We've been over there a couple times. Let's see, Al's Bar is another cool little place that has kind of has a dive bar feel to it, but I love it over there. Al's Bar is cool. Great food. It's kind of like you walk in there and the food kind of blows you away a little bit. You don't expect it, and it's great. Cool people over there. Let's see. We did another surprise place. We played at Lakeside Live. Have you been over there?
Yes,
Kenny,
I
have you
have.
been over there?
Yes, I have.
That is a cool little thing. It's like it's one of those like duh kind of moments. Like, of course this should be a little music venue, but no one's ever done it until they did it this last year, and they renovated that whole space behind Lexington Green. And they've got like a burger place that's really good. They've got I think it's still a seafood place, but they got like a fancy restaurant on the other side of the lake. And then they've got the comedy club right there, and Joseph Beth. And they've got that like a stage set up outside. I was really jazzed when I found out about that place. I played a couple times over there this last year, and the trio played. I think it was September we played over there, and it was just so cool to play. Of course, is always fun. And they pack, like, all these people come out, and they just set up their chairs, grab a burger, drink, or whatever, and they let you kind of walk around and drink out there as long as you're, being responsible. And you kind of just set up out there and watch bands play, and they have bands like, that's a cool little, like, surprise venue. Some of my favorite, Manchester is a really up there on my place. I played over there once or twice when it was Butters, and I was really bummed when I heard it was closing. But then Manchester came along, and that is, of course, it was perfect for that Prince show. But it's got some really cool stage, professional setup, and everything. I'm trying to think some of the other places. There's so many good ones. Of course, we love it at Azure. Jeremy, he does some great food, and that's kind of, for us, we'll just relax and play your instruments kind of set, That's just, I honestly really like sitting there. I know some musicians that kind of balk at, playing in restaurants and stuff. They're like, oh, you're just... But you know what? I've had a lot of people come up to me and just tell me how much they've enjoyed just the music and what it's meant to them in that moment. Grabbing people and changing their lives in that moment. But you really, you can really hit some people where they're at, and I really do like it, playing at those restaurants like that, especially that one. That's a cool place. But we've done where else have I played? The Cosmic's a good place. The Cosmic place. I've played the old one. I haven't been over to where the new place is yet. But I really like another place here would be Shakertown. That's not a place you can come for a live music venue, but they have so much going on out there. Like, you almost feel like, wow, how do they do it all? Like a whole full-time staff that books everything out there, and I really like sitting out on that patio and playing. And I've played for a couple of out there. But that's another place, like 20 minutes outside of Lexington, 30 minutes outside of Lexington. So, yeah, I mean, there's just so much going on, and I'm sure there's stuff that I haven't even heard about yet in Lexington, because they're just everywhere, it seems like.
I definitely like Lakeside Live. I like it was new, it was refreshing. You had all over the country that came to perform, and they're bringing it back. for this coming summer, actually this coming late spring or whatever. And I've already
Hmm.
know some acts that are going to be performing, and returning acts is coming back as well. So, and the Burrow definitely, a lot of people saying it's the best new right now. Um,
Awesome place.
yes,
Cool.
yeah.
And they
So,
got cool people running the place too. I think that's the key to all these good venues. You have people that care about it, putting it together, and investing themselves in you, and that's so important. You know what I mean? It's not just them. You can tell passion, and
and definitely when you quality music into these shows and
hmm
do their thing. Um, so, like new music you have in store for 2017?
I do. I have so much new the how to get it out there, and working towards a new project. I finished my last album in 2010, so a lot has changed in the world since then, and I have been writing a lot of last. I've actually kind of been writing a lot over the last 3 years.
Okay, so definitely, keep an eye on it for sure, and definitely looking forward to it as well. For people that want to, better yet, what are some of your upcoming shows that you like to promote that people should check out?
Yeah, I'm spending a lot of time in the writing room right now, and in the studio, just kind of working on some stuff. But I am also playing kind of some low key stuff coming up. I'm doing Brasa. I'll be at Brasabana the end of this month on July 27th or 27th. And coming up in February, I'm gonna be back at Brasabana towards that month, and then also at Azure. But I'm doing the next big, not really a big gig, but the next fun gig I'm going to be playing will be over at Brasa on Valentine's Day, and that's going to be kind of a fun little goofy set. I'll be doing a lot of love tunes and things like that, I'm sure, and a lot of jazz. So, but I'll be sneaking. I like to sneak in a lot of my original music in those sets as well. Quick way to catch all my music. But the biggest thing right now for me is kind of YouTube. This winter, during this winter season, I kind of slow down a little bit, do more writing, and so I'm going to be working on trying to put out some videos this next couple months. So the biggest thing I'd say for people is keep an eye on my website, chrisweissmusic.com. I've got a gigs list, a venue list down at the bottom of the homepage. It's just got my schedule on there and where I'm playing and when I'm playing and stuff like that. But new videos. I'm trying to do like a new video series where I'm posting some of my new music before I get into the studio. This will kind of just be like a preliminary experience for people to just kind of get in here. I think that's one of the hard things about recording is the time. It takes time, and it should take time. I mean, it's done well. It takes time. But I'm going to be doing some pop-up videos so people can be catching some of that new music quickly.
Most definitely, man. It was great chatting with you. Thank you so much for being on. Truly appreciate it. Continue success and and the rest of the band. And I definitely look forward to seeing more of you in the future. Right now my work schedule is very hectic. They got me working like 7 days a week, 70 hours
Ooh.
a week, and
Oh man.
I'm now being able to go to a lot of shows like I used to the last year and a half, but
Ooh.
hopefully that schedule will the next, I don't know, 2-3 months. I don't know, but
Yeah. Oh man, that's awful. Well,
yeah, but
do your thing. Don't work too hard. Don't work too hard. But
I'll
I
try.
appreciate that, man. I appreciate you having me on here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Continue success. You have a great night. Have a great weekend.
All right. See you, Kenny. Thanks.
Take it easy, man.
Bye.
That was Chris Weiss.